Everybody, welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. If you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it's content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It is myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future family and finances so the decisions we make now won't negatively impact us in the future. Today is Wednesday, April the 2nd. You will see this video on Thursday, April the 3rd. We are here to do a budget with me for the paycheck I'm going to receive on this coming Friday. So let's get it. Let's go. Just a quick note, because I have had quite a few new subscribers. I thank y'all. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you more than you can ever think and know. But just as a recap for me, I am a business process analyst manager with a company based out of Texas. I work from home. I've worked from home since 2010, so not since COVID, but even before that. And I am a salaried employee. Sweets, my hubby, is an entrepreneur, and his income is variable. His numbers are not included in my numbers here. I have separate forms that I use to track his information and his money. We choose not to share that. He does not want it to be shared on the content page, but we do a marriage and money series where once a quarter we kind of talk about our finances and things that we're doing as a couple together, or we talk about his finances at that point. Okay, so that's just giving you guys a little bit of background. I'm going to move to the budget, but there's one thing I wanted to show you guys. So this is my April calendar within the All Things Planner dated calendar from Ashley Digital Studio. That's what I use. And I'm working through my April reset, and I'll be creating video on that soon. But I did want to just mention to you guys this saying right here. I hope you all can see that. This came from Dr. Anita Phillips' book, The Garden Within, that we are currently reading as a part of our Lenten season. It's an ask by our pastor, and it is really blessing me. I was walking at the park on yesterday, and she said this line that actually stopped me in my tracks. And she said, you know, sometimes you become as you go. And that spoke to me, because as someone who likes to have things in order, likes to have things a certain way, not necessarily that I have to be perfect, but I would like to have my stuff together. Like, you just want to be able to say, I got my stuff together. We say stuff on camera, but y'all get what I'm saying. And this spoke to me because part of what I'm realizing is that the growth is a part of the process, especially when it comes to this budget. I wish my budget was all together. I wish I had everything that I was doing perfectly, in the sense of making sure I'm always at a zero-based budget, never overspending, never running my credit card if I'm not supposed to, not having to use my credit card at all in some cases, etc., etc., etc. But what I realized is that the journey is really where your growth is going to happen. And that's what this meant to me. When I heard sometimes you become as you go, I heard growth. And that's how your growth happens. And that's the only thing I really want to win at. I want to win at growing. I want to win at evolving. I want to win at being that person who can shift the currents go and as the water goes, because that for me shows that I am adaptable and I am learning things constantly, and I always want to be in a state of constant learning. So it blessed me. I didn't know if it was going to bless anybody else, so I decided I was going to share. All right, that is done. Let us go to the budget workbook. At this point, we are in the month of April, and let's go to the calendar. Nope, we're going to go to the budget. Oh, I am going to do a no spend. This came from Beautiful Budgets. I'm not going to be as rigid as I was in March. I wanted to have at least 15 days of no spend. I think I made 16, potentially 17 days. I can't remember now. So I am going to run this no spend again. Now, she has this available free in her Ko-Fi shop, and you should be able to go to her YouTube channel and look at her post or community post, and you should be able to see a link there. I am going to run it. I'm just not going to run it as strict as I was before. So whatever no spend days I get, that's good. I just don't have a goal in mind for that. So I am going to do that for April. All right, now we're going to move into the budget. And I'm sorry, I know it is kind of dark. It's getting late in the evening and the sun has gone down. All right, so Real quickly for my budget, here's Big Bertha. She's already been documented as far as my bills are concerned, highlighted as far as my paycheck cycle is concerned. What my paycheck dates are have already been entered into this. And the one thing that I will tell you around this that we probably need to cover is that my property insurance and my nail net, those I accounted for in my previous check. Although they are due on the 4th, I get paid on the 4th, and that felt a little too close for comfort, especially because they are on auto draft. And I know sometimes my property insurance will come out a day before. So I did not want to wait and try to pay for these as a part of the check that I'm going to receive on Friday. So for these two bills, that money is already in the bank and it is sitting in the account. So now you will see rollover where you typically don't see rollover in my budget. You will see it this time because this is money that's already there waiting for them to come and get their money, honey. All right, so that is it for Big Bertha. Remember, I get paid on April the 4th, and this time I am going to do just a weekly budget instead of a bi-weekly budget, because all of my bills are on auto draft, and I'm going to let those auto drafts happen as they should instead of me proactively paying all of these bills as soon as I get paid. I do need to account for things a little bit differently. So I am going to be doing a week like I talked about before. And with that, I did do a messy budget. So when I went in and did my messy budget to see how many bills that I have and make sure that I'm hitting right up against that number that I tend to put into my bills account, that's about $1,500 every paycheck. I had to break these up into what's going to get paid week 1 as an auto draft and what will come out week 2 in this paycheck cycle. I run my weeks from a Friday to a Thursday. So this Friday, April 4th to Thursday, April the 10th is all considered a part of week 1. That's the one that you see here for this. And then April the 11th through April the 16th is going to be, or 17th is going to be week 2. And that's iCloud, AT&T, Water, Apple Care, and HP Inc. For those bills, they all total up to $145. So I need to make sure I have $145 left in my bills account at least to cover week 2 expenses. All right. So where are we? For rollover for this paycheck cycle, I've got $300 I'm bringing over from my bills account. I'm going to have $1,500 deposited into my bills account as well. And I'm going to have $825 into my variable account. And I'm going to have another $50 given into my variable account as well by my son. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these because we need to understand while we're going through the budget where that money is accounted for at. So there you go. When you see purple, you know it's coming out of the bills account. When you see orange, you know it's coming out of my variable account. All right, so what do we have here? We have mortgage. Mortgage is coming out of my bills account. So mortgage, auto, Audible, subscription, Paramount, Lawn Love. I got to start back with my lawn service now, and it is accounted for on my messy budget. So that's not anything new. But Lawn Love, and then the property insurance that we talked about that is a part of that rollover amount. When you add all of that together, it comes up to $966, and that's purple. That's coming out of my bills account. All right, so I didn't even add up my total up here, y'all. All right, $300, $1,500, $825, and $50. $2,675. I'll do that again. $300, $1,500, $825, $50. Yeah, $2,675. Okay. Subtract $966 from that, and that leaves $1,709. All right. Let's bring $1,709 down. Remember, this is a weekly budget. So for variable expenses, I'm only going to account for half of what I typically do in a paycheck cycle. So that's going to be $255. $125 for groceries, $50 for gas, $30 for dining, $25 for home supplies, basically, and then $25 for over-the-counter meds. I know I'm going to go over in gas and dining because we are going out of town for spring break. We're going to South Carolina, but we'll see. I'll fix all of that later on. I'm not going to fix it today. All right, so we started with $1,709. Let's minus $255, and that's going to leave me with $1,454. That is what we're going to carry over here. Okay. Now, when you look at the debt that needs to be covered in that 1 week cycle, Nelnet is due on the 4th. No, I'll leave it like that. Nelnet is due on the 4th. That's $82. We've accounted for that in the rollover. I want to give $100 to my city credit card. You know, I want to do a split bill kind of method on that as well. So I want to pay, and I think the minimum that was due was $182, but I roughly say $200. So $100 every check, and that should cover that amount. So we're gonna give $100 for that. Since I had so much money left over in my messy budget as far as my bills are concerned, because I usually put $1,500 over there and I'm only spending $1,036. Since I had so much left over, I'm going to go ahead and make that extra debt payment that I like to make out of every check for $75. I'm going to have that come out of, oh, excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm going to have that come out of the bills account. So we're going to go ahead and mark that off in blue, in purple as well. So that's $250. So $1454 is what I'm working with. I'm going to subtract $257. That's going to leave me with not that one. $1,197. And I didn't say it before, but my variable expenses, they come out of my variable account. So that needed to be in orange. Okay. All right. So just again, purple for the inflow, purple for the outflow, orange for the inflow, orange will be for the outflow. All right, now that leaves me with $1,197. Now, if I want to be sure that I am good, $966 plus $257 equals $1,223 of expenses. And if you look over here, as far as the inflow is concerned, that's $1,800. So I am still good. I got enough money to cover that. All right, now let's look at variable. $825 in variable account, $50 from Micah. That's $875 that I'm working with. All right. Now, I've already said for variable expenses, I'm going to pay half, $255. Now, so that left me with $620. I need to account for week 2 of variable expenses as well. So I'm going to subtract another $255. So I have $365 roughly that I am working with over here as far as my okay. I have $365 that I am working with over here. Okay, $365. And I did go in. I knew that it was going to be around that amount. So I went in and already did adjustments. And let's see where I ended up, because I'm sure that I'm meeting that $365. But I did go in and I had to adjust some numbers as I was looking at this from before. I really wanted to give $100 towards buffer, but I don't think I can. I think I'm going to be short if I do that. So I'm going to leave that amount there. And here, I don't know why I put 93. I try to do just a blanket 100. I wonder whatever I was thinking of and why ever I did that, I don't know. So we're going to go ahead and change it and let's see if that makes a difference. All right. So 50 I'm going to give to my buffer account, 25 to maintenance, 25 to medical, and 20 to subs. That's going to be a total of $120 for my high priority sinking funds. Then for low priority and the challenges, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40 plus 40. 20 for date night, 5 for November birthday, 20 YouTube, 40 for Little Bean, and then 100 for my savings challenges, and that equals $245. 245. And 245 plus 120, that's going to give me my $365 that I was hoping for. All right, so we are good. So debt, it was $257. I had $1,197 left over. Let's put that up here. We're going to subtract the $365, and that's going to leave me under budget by $832. All right. And like I mentioned before, I need to make sure that I have $145 that's left for week 2 bills. I need to make sure I have $255 left for variable expenses. So that gives me under budget by $432. So I don't want to spend this money unnecessarily. But going out of town and it looking like I have about an extra $400, that looks good. I'm going to do my best not to spend that money overall so I can put some of it towards my Transfer Tuesday debt, but we will see. At least I know I am not over budget, and that's always a good thing. All right, I think that is it. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.